Hi, Turtlepedia. This is Rob Paulson, and I am Donatello on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
What's up, Turtlepedia? I'm Greg Sipes. I play Michelangelo on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
What's happening, Turtlepedia? My name's Ciro Nieli, and I'm the executive producer of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, kids.
What's up, everybody? It's Brian with Wikia here. We've got some great fan questions from all the super fans there on turtlepedia.wikia.com.
Did you get the one I sent in?
I haven't seen that one yet, though. Unless, what's your alias?
Skinny
Black.
ass Angelo. Mikey Skinny Butt Angelo.
Mikey Skinny Ass Angelo.
Did you get it?
Nice. No, I didn't see that one on the
question for
list.
Ciro.
That didn't make the cut. Sorry,
It was, when will Mikey get a girlfriend?
Yeah.
That was my question.
Don- Donnie's got
I
one.
know, that's what it is.
I like it.
got
I
the-
like
What's
the answer? What's the answer?
Well, I don't know. We've already mutated all the guys we have.
Yeah.
No, this is really heavy. Like, this first question is really heavy. I hate to
Right.
even cut to this now.
Okay.
This is from Rancor88.
Oh, crap.
Can you talk about your
From the
first
straight from the Rancor
experience
pit.
with the Ninja Turtles and what kind of an impact that had on you?
Okay, we'll go down the line.
Either the comic or the original series.
Go for it,
You
Rob.
want me to go? Oh, well, I can tell you that I am an official two-time turtle. When you were younger, maybe even before you were born, I was Raphael in the original show. And now I get another ride in the Turtle Van thanks to Ciro Nieli, and the impact it's had on my life is kind of incalculable, really, because it from every standpoint, it paid my bills, it entertained my boy, it made me a rock star in my boy's eyes when he was 6 and I was 31, and so it had truly an incalculable effect.
How about you guys?
Oh wow. Yeah, the first show influenced me greatly. That was your show.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
That was my show.
Yeah, I am who I am today because of this guy right here. It's true. Turtles got me into meditation, martial arts, surfing, skateboarding. Allowed me to have just so much fun as a kid, and to be able to offer it to this next generation is such a blessing and a responsibility, and I'm really grateful. Yeah.
Ciro, how about you?
For me, it was that, comic shops weren't like they are now. They were few and far between and kind of unheard of. And why would that ever happen? Comics were truck drivers would pick up an issue of Fantastic Four at a 7-Eleven with a Slurpee and they'd hit the road again, throw it on the floor. So comic shops started popping up in the 80s, and I was lucky enough to have one nearby where I grew up, and my mom would take me regularly because I was an avid, aspiring artist, and I was 10 years old, and the Mirage book hit the shelves. But to see this rag that was like so punk rock, it was like, to me, it was like Operation Ivy or the Ramones. It was like
Very
to
underground,
see-
right?
Oh, it was
Yeah,
amazing,
totally.
and it was big, and it was weird, and the cover had this weird red ruby like sep color thing, and I just gravitated to it. You're a kid, so it was like a golden age book. It was like a magazine. I was like, and I went home, and it was good that I got it because I was drawn all the time, and it's kind of at that age where you kind of maybe go like, well, maybe I'll go focus on like soccer or girls or something, and the
That's what I
drawing
did.
starts to wane. And seeing the way they did it with this punk rock, we're in our apartment doing this like almost like a garage band. I was like, I can do that too. I didn't know that two guys could just go, here's some cash, we want to make a comic book, so we're just gonna make a comic book because we want to make a comic book. That to me was like, that opened everything up, and I started getting a lot of what I call Eastmanisms at an early age drawing.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, he shaped my visual identity a lot as an artist.
The fans on Turtlepedia, their big thing is chronicling this whole universe, and it looks like this massive database to us on the site. What does your internal method of sort of keeping track of this vast mythology look like? How does that play out for you guys?
Well, without talking about where we're going, the way we usually go about it is we think about structure and the arc of a character. Where's the beginning, middle, and end of this character's story on their journey? And it all comes from that. Everything else is just details and trappings. Like, if along the way I need something that's kind of like this, I'll look to the stuff that interested me in past canon. At a certain point, though, I mean, in the beginning, I had to make a really clean decision about how we treated the origin. While I love Kevin and Peter's origin in the comics, I felt it was a little too involved and intricate for something that needs to be digestible really quickly, like in a film format, because you're explaining an idea visually in real time. You can't get too complicated. So I kind of went with the Fred Wolf idea that Hamato Yoshi was Master Splinter. I just thought it was cleaner, you know, because I wanted the intensity between Splinter and Shredder at its height. So I mean, we're always looking at all of the things that, you know, whether it's the Murakami Wolf show, whether it's Mirage even Volume 2, or it's, you know, 2K3. I mean, we look at all that stuff and go, well, this is what was good about this here. This was cool too. This we didn't care about so much. This was awesome. How do we weave those things into these bigger ideas that we already have in store for our characters that we're trying to create as well? So that, because we don't want to regurgitate. The worst thing that could happen is if you have a series where, you know, you go, okay, I'm gonna watch the new Ninja Turtles, and you just literally watch different versions of the same story repeat over and over.
Right.
You know.
Yep.
Like 2K3 did the Casey Jones origin story, and they followed the Mirage comic really closely, and then we did it, and we loved the Mirage comic, so it's like it got tricky, and it's like, well, how do we, and we weren't even aware of the 2K3 one. We didn't want to look at it again to remind ourselves what they did, and it was funny when we were done. We compared the two, and we went, oh wow, there's some stuff that's almost exactly the same, but that was Kevin's book too, you know. It's tricky. It's a big canon, and the other thing about it is that as old as it is, it's 30 years, and here's its anniversary, it's also young. Something like Batman is way more forgiving. People are like, oh, reinvent the crap out of it. I don't care. Make it like, why so serious and dreadful, and that's cool because we don't care. It's Batman.
Yeah.
Like, we're only gonna have another version next year anyway. Turtles is a little more precious.
No,
But
while
you'll
we're talking
see.
about the previous series and the mythology, Wordalette has a question. They are asking, do you have any favorite storylines from the previous series or the comics? And I guess, Ciro, for you, like, are you looking at adapting any of those, or
Well, I
can we
always
look forward to
loved
seeing something?
I loved all the one-shots. I love the Raph story, which is also the Casey Jones origin, and we've done that. The Donnie one's a little trickier with the Kirby Stone, although I think it's cool. But I'm a huge fan of the Leo one-shot, which dovetails into the Mirage issue 10, where they face off against Shredder in the second time around shop. I love that story. All that stuff. That was like, when I was a kid, that was the pinnacle of Turtles. Because I was waiting for it.
Yep.
Like, I bought it from issue 1 on the racks. And I remember, like, oh my god, issue 4, and the Triceratons, all the way through issue 6, like, all the crazy, the arena dome battle stuff, and now they're in space, and now it's Star Wars, and it was blowing my mind, and then I was like, but it really, like, that hardcore ninja rivalry battle stuff that was taking place, and Leo kind of rising, and Casey Jones coming in and taking out Shredder, kind of, or trying, and the place burning down. They did it in the movie, too. It's like, I love that vibe. And I love that period of Turtles. That time when I was reading it, it was great for me. It was like at the peak of like black and white indie comic, like self-printing. It was pretty inspiring.
How about you guys? Do you have a favorite arc or story
Well-
from the comic or the previous show?
I wasn't that familiar with the comics. I became more so after I got cast in the first show. So I'm gonna take a look at what this is, you know. But what I really love about, I think one of my favorite storylines in the new show, I'm a huge fan of Jeff Combs. Jeff Combs is a fine actor. And I had loved Reanimator, and I've always enjoyed Jeffrey's work. And then when I found out he was going to be the Rat King, and the episodes in which he becomes the Rat King, and he's a badass looking dude. He's a killer action figure. Ciro and his buddies, he's frightening looking in the show. And Jeff is a gnarly actor, and he's perfect. And I love the Rat King origin, how he gets mutated into the Rat King, and come my children, and oh my God, it's.
Hardy Gal wants to know, how closely do you guys stick to the script? Is there ever any improv that happens while you're recording? What's that process like?
Well, the scripts are so well written that we don't really need to
Exactly.
leave them so much, but there is creative freedom. You know, Ciro lets us play around and make it our own, and sometimes we do wild passes where we get to do whatever we want, and sometimes that gets animated.
Sometimes Sipes will sing a song.
Yeah, like today.
Greg made a song
Did
up
you hear my
just for
song?
today's
No,
panel.
would you?
Is there a TMNT guitar right there? Oh, there is.
There is one right here, yeah.
Let me.
He's gonna reprise.
We can wait. This is worth the wait.
Greg wrote a song last night just for our panel.
Thank you, Brody.
Thank you, Rhodey.
We have
You remember your part?
we have
Yeah.
Iron Man's assistant here.
So I find, whose phone is that?
It's not me.
That's
not me.
I find peace in every piece of pizza, yum yum, wanna eat ya. I find peace in every piece of pizza, yum yum, I wanna eat ya. Cheese, mushroom, pepperoni, blue, green.
Purple algae.
I don't want any anchovies.
Anchovies.
I find peace in every piece of pizza, yum yum, wanna eat ya.
I found love in every piece of pizza. Good night, Cleveland.
Ow!
Yeah,
It's gonna be really
love
dis-
in every piece of
I thought that
pizza.
was
How
a-
about this guy?
I find peace in every piece of pizza.
It's gonna be really disappointing if that does not get written into the show
I
at some
said
point.
today, I go,
Like,
last episode.
you kind of have to.
Last
Yeah.
episode of the series, whatever day that comes, and credits should be that song.
I like it. Yeah.
With the turtles like riding off or floating in the sky like it's the Wild
I
Bunch.
find peace in every piece of pizza, yum yum, I wanna eat ya.
Yeah, so that'll be a little earworm for you guys out there.
I like that. That's going viral, like right
Totally.
now.
I think that
I think
is.
so.
It's good that you guys have that.
We have a
That's-
big
that's
flash
kind of-
mob.
I should
People
play it
dressed
better,
up.
cleaner now.
No, that
That's
sounds
cool.
kind of good that way.
Yeah, we'll do another take.
Yeah, when people dressed up like in their turtle shirts, in front of a
The
Mall of
tempo
America.
was a
going,
little
"Ah."
fast.
That one
The
was
tempo was a
perfect.
little
That one was
fast.
perfect though 'cause it was natural.
So you guys were just picked up for 4th season, right?
Yeah.
Reed 007 wants to know, are we going to see season 3 in October? And how long do you think the show is going to run? That's a
We will
question from
definitely see
Wordalette.
Season 2 hasn't ended, just by the way. I know there's some confusion. We took a break. Usually what happens with Comic-Con, we will have finished our finale, come to Comic-Con, talk about the next season. What we did, we're 4 shows shy of finishing this season. So after Comic-Con, after the Michael Bay produced film clears, and some of it kind of dies down, we're going to come in, roll out our season 2 shows, have a huge finale. The new shows, I think season 3 start roughly early October. I don't have exact dates, but I wouldn't be surprised. First week of October, season 3 begins.
So the idea with the break was just to kind of stay out of the way of the film and let
Yeah,
it
you
do
know,
its thing.
I don't think it's fair to either, you know? You don't want, because we'd be rolling one right up against the other a couple days apart. And it would just, I think it would saturate things too much.
Is the movie going to inform what you guys are doing on the series at all?
I don't think so. I met with Jonathan. He came by, I think, a few times and talked about his ideas and looked at what we were doing, because this was very early on. Jonathan Leafstrom, the director, and he's a nice guy. And then they went off and did their thing. They kind of showed me a couple things along the way. I saw a rough cut of the film a while ago, and but we've pretty much held separate camps, which I think is healthier. I try not to read the new IDW books either. We just kind of want to. We would just inform each other too much, and then it would just cannibalize itself. And I don't know that that's the smartest thing to do, you know. So, yeah, it's I think it's gonna be really great though. I think that it's gonna be. I'm excited about it because honestly, to have a version of Turtles that I am neither responsible for
Yeah.
or aware of in
Yeah.
any way, shape, or form, I get to be a fan for 2 hours.
Yeah.
That's priceless.
Yeah.
I'm into it. I'm
Yeah.
into it. Yeah.
Nice.
Thanks for talking with us today,
Oh,
you
yeah, I love
guys.
you
Thanks for the
guys.
song.
Turtlepedia.
Yeah.
Here we'll close it.
Turtlepedia rocks.
Let's do that. Let's do that.
Okay.
I find peace in every piece of pizza, yum yum. I wanna eat ya. I find peace in every piece of pizza, yum yum. I wanna eat ya. Cheese, mushroom, pepperoni, blue, green.
And the purple algae. Huh.
Yo, man, leave off the anchovy.
So,
Yo, I find peace in every piece of pizza, yum yum. I wanna eat ya. I find peace in every piece of pizza, yum yum. I wanna eat ya. Cowabunga, dude.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Yeah.
guys.